Happy Death Day to You, the sequel to the very popular horror slasher movie Happy Death Day that no one was probably asking for. That's right, folks. What is up? Hello, hi, I am Zombie Chris. If you are new around this channel, what we do is we cover everything from horror to vlogs around Florida, as well as we do some short films, documentary style videos. If any of that sounds like something you're interested in, make sure to leave this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, as well as leave a comment down below. And what we are getting to is Happy Death Day to You. Returning from the first one is same director. I believe it's different writer. It picks up right from the other movie. If you're a fan of Happy Death Day, you're probably going to be a fan of this film. And if you're a fan of general with time travel-esque type films, you're gonna really enjoy the journey in this movie.
So in the first Happy Death Day, it was more like Groundhog's Day plus horror equals Happy Death Day. But in the sequel, it's more like Groundhog's Day plus Back to the Future 2 minus horror equals Happy Death Day to You.
Now that is a problem for me overall with this movie, is the fact that the first one was horror and comedy, but this one, they forget the horror pretty much most of the movie. I'm gonna say like 90% of the movie is not horror. And they only sprinkle it in when they need to introduce a little bit of thrilling elements, like towards the end or in the beginning. But they kind of forget about the poor baby doll killer, who was kind of the big thing of the first one, was the mystery of who is this baby doll killer. And they kind of just skip out on that. And I wish they had more of that in this movie. But they do spend a whole lot of time with this parallel time travel scientific-esque mumbo jumbo that's sprinkled in here. And for my opinion, I think that's where this movie kind of dropped the ball. This film tries to do a little bit too much and tries to explain things where we didn't need it explained in the first one, so it was no problem. And they even reference Back to the Future 2, which is pretty much what they're doing throughout this movie. Also, the boyfriend character, and I'm forgetting his name, sorry about that. He is far less in this story as opposed to the first one. And I felt that was kind of a shame, because that only added value to the story when you see Tree and the boyfriend character and how their story kind of interacts with each other, as opposed to in this one, he's just sort of a side character that's just there to basically fill the plot from the first one. It is a shame that they do introduce a lot of great elements in this movie and a lot of like little things that could be kind of cool if they played them out, but they really dropped the ball on a lot of them. And a lot of them just, they're in one scene and then they disappear in the next. And where the first one had a lot of comedy segments that were kind of funny because we were new, exploring this world that we're kind of thrown into, we already kind of know a lot of things. So when we see the sequel and a lot of the comedy-esque things are thrown back around, they're not quite funny.
Ew. Who are these people? Call me as soon as you're done with your creepy little Comic-Con meeting.
It felt like they wanted to elevate the comedy, so they took it like a ×5, and there's even like a slapstick montage of her killing herself, which I thought could have been done a bit better. I would have loved to see some really awesome, inventive kills in there, but budget-wise, they seem kind of just okay kind of kills. All in all, I don't want to say this is a bad movie by any stretch. It was enjoyable for most of the part. I think the end is a bit of a stretch and they added on way too much. It should have ended, I would say, like 20 minutes less. It would have been good. They could have just dropped out that final scene, tighten up the story a bit more, take out a lot of the slapstick comedy that's thrown in here, and it would have been a decent sequel also more baby doll killer. That would have, made this a really, really good sequel. Instead, it's just solid, okay sequel. I still prefer the first one. The first one, I think, blows this out the water for me. But what do you guys think? If you saw Happy Death Day 2U, what did you think? Leave it down in the comment section as well. Leave this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're going to have a new video very, very soon. That is it. Adios. Good night. Peace out.